Welcome back. By now we have learned about stocks, stock exchanges, and the various intermediaries involved with the process of stock trading. While the focus of this course is on stocks, we would like to mention that stock exchanges don't just deal with stocks, but actually they deal with a wide range of securities, all of which are traded on exchanges. Let us understand the term security first. A security essentially represents terms of exchange between two parties. So for example, a stock is a security which defines your percentage ownership in the firm and which has no maturity date. By owning a stock, you are entitled to a proportionate share in profits of the firm. So these are in a nutshell the terms of exchange between a stock investor and the issuer. Now the different types of securities may be issued by different institutions like corporates, governments, banks and other financial institutions. These securities are purchased by various investors who have surplus money to invest. Securities allow investors to convert their savings into financial assets that can provide them returns. The issuer of the security proposes the terms on which they want to raise capital. The investor who invests in this security has the claim to rights represented by the security. These rights may involve ownership, participation in management, or claims on assets. Essentially, different types of securities belonging to different asset classes can trade on exchange. The exchange decides which securities can be traded after taking due permissions from relevant regulator. Typically, stocks, corporate debentures, government bonds, close-ended mutual funds, and currency futures trade on an exchange. Also, some derivative instruments like futures and options, which derive their value from one of these underlyings, also trade in the derivative segment of the exchange. It is the exchange who decides which securities would have derivative securities also available to be traded on the exchange. We'll cover some of these topics in a later lecture, but before we move on to details on stock trading, we'd like to tell you something about what is known as a stock index, as we may refer to this term repeatedly throughout the course. A stock index is a number calculated to represent a particular section of the stock market. Usually it is seen as the leading measure representing the entire stock market. Very often we see one stock index associated with an exchange which represents the leading stocks trading on that exchange. Stock indices are widely quoted in the press and tracked by the public as they reflect the prevailing sentiment about the state of the economy. Stock indices are also often used as a benchmark for determining if a fund manager has added value by selecting stocks for a fund. A fund manager's return over the year can be compared to the return of a stock index over the same period to determine if the fund manager has generated greater return due to his stock selection strategies. Stock index is only one type of index from a number of indices that can be calculated using price of various stocks. For example, one can create an index from price of stocks of all banking companies to represent a banking index, or one may create a real estate index from price of stocks of real estate companies. Let's now look at how value of an index can be calculated. There are primarily two ways of calculating the value of an index. An index can be calculated by the price weighted method or the capitalization weighted method. In case of a price weighted index, the value of the index is calculated by adding the price of each stock and dividing the sum total by the number of stocks. So you essentially add prices of all the stocks that constitute the index and divide this sum by the number of stocks in the index. This implies that the stock with higher price has a greater influence on the value of the index compared to a stock with lower price. So for example, if stock A is trading at 10 and another stock B is trading at 10,000, and let's assume these are the only two stocks in the index, so the value of the index is 10 plus 10,000 and this sum divided by 2. So the value of index will be 5005. Now if only stock A were to move by 10% while stock B remains unchanged, new value of the index would be 11 plus 10,000 and dividing this sum by 2. So the new value of the index would be 5005.5. On the other hand, if stock A remains unchanged while the price of stock B moves by 10%, the new value of the index would be 5505. Since both the stocks are given equal weightage, the same percentage move in stock B may move the index more than the same percentage move in stock A. So the key drawback with price weighted index is that a stock with higher price may end up dominating the movement in the index, and hence such an index may not be truly representative of the section of the stock market from which it has been created. In order to avoid this, indexes are often calculated using capitalization weighted index. A capitalization weighted index is also known as the market weighted index. In case of capitalization weighted index, the market cap of the stock is used to determine the weightage attached to the stock prices, and hence a stock with greater market capitalization will have greater influence on the value of the index. So for the example we looked before, if stock A has 100,000 stocks outstanding, while stock B has only 10 stocks issued, the market capitalization of stock A would be 1 million, while that of stock B would be 100,000. We'll use each stock's market cap and divide it by the total market cap of the index constituents. So in this case, the total market cap would be 1.1 million. In order to arrive at the weightage to be given to each stock's price, we'll divide the stock market cap to the total market cap. Hence weightage for stock A would be 1 million divided by 1.1 million, which is equal to 10 by 11. On the other hand, the weightage for stock B would be 100,000 divided by 1.1 million, which is equal to 1 by 11. So here it is easy to see that the stock with the higher price cannot simply dominate the index just because of its higher price. This addresses the drawback of price weighted index, where a stock with higher price may end up dominating the movement in the index. Hence, capitalization weighted index are considered to be more representative of the section of the stock market from which they have been created.